Alright, so in the last video, I thought I mentioned something called properties panel, which is this area. Now, now in this video, we're touching on something called contextual properties panel or contextual panel. Now, the contextual panel, how you get to it is just right click. Now, all these are called contextual panel. They are contextual panel. Why? Because when you right click on the area, you find them here. You can see different things. Like in one of those videos, I showed you how to smoothen something without smoothing it. Just right click on it, you see shade smooth. So smoothing this area sometimes can be bad, sometimes can be good, sometimes it can be just awful, but it serves purpose. Now you can see convert also, all these ones, convert to mesh, convert to curve, convert to curve, grease pencil. Now all these will be touching them as we move on in the practical session. So please, I would advise you watch all the videos, try all the videos talking about the tool, so that when the practical starts, you know what to do. Now we have mirror, we have snap, and the like. All these have their uses and they have their uses and test use cases. So we mentioned them many times. We use the short key for them, but as we go along, this is the aim I mentioned in one of those videos, how to make collections. So as you move in the class, you'll be understanding when to use one and when not to use the other, right? So now let's now dive into the contextual panel. So if I move to the tab, that's the edit mode. You can see edit mode. If I right click now, you notice that when I right click now, it looks different from when it was this object mode. When I right click on object mode, this is what you have. You have delete, we have insert frame, we have insert keyframe with insert and all the like. If I move to this edit mode, if I right click, you see that that's a different set. That's different sets of functions in its own contextual panel. Now, depending on where you are, either they are in the edit mode, let's move to the sculpt mode, so you can see sculpt mode. Also look at the sculpt mode. If they are in the edit mode, the sculpt mode. So if they are in the edit mode, the sculpt mode, or the object mode, or the texture, let's move to the texture mode. Let's go to the texture print mode. You see that you also have something different. So, and we got to all this by right clicking, just by right clicking basically. So the object mode and the edit mode. When I right click in the edit mode, you notice you give us different functions. You have extrude faces, extrude along normal, extrude individual face, insert, blah blah blah. And this one you can find them here. This is the extrude region, extrude along normal, extrude individual. Now all those things, when you right click, in the case you're not really comfortable with using this one, just right click and you'll find them here. You have 1, 2, 3, and this is the three I majorly use. This is extrude face, extrude along normal, and extrude individual faces. Yeah. Then we have subdivide. Yeah, we'll talk subdivide very soon. So if I change this now to edge, where I click now, notice that it is now different. And depending on which of these three I'm selecting, this is surface. If I click on this, I right click to give me this selection. If I change it to edge and I right click to give me all this extrude edge, extrude, fill, loop cuts, and all these things that can be affectable by the edge. It gives me that change to vertex now. I right click to give me also everything about the vertex, which is quite interesting if you ask me. Everything about the vertex, you find it there. Everything about the vertex. So, and depending on what you're working on, let's assume you want to extrude now. This is extrude. You want to extrude this in. Now, let's go insert. Insert is when you shift you create a new edge flow. So let me right click, you see insert face. I click on this, you can see it gives me this easily. I right click, I drop that. I right click again, extrude face, I can extrude inward, and I can select this side, and select this side, and then right click again and say insert face. Then I insert the face. But since it's giving me a little glitch, I will just click OK. Then I will come here and say individual. So I can reduce it as I want. Then I'll right click again and say extrude face along normal. So depending on what I basically want. So that's the beauty of the so now let me delete this space text. Okay, let's insert it. Yeah, let's click on this and then click on this and create another insert space. For this time, I want this guy to connect with this guy. I want this area and this area to connect with each other. Yeah. So what I need to do, first let me pull this one forward. So I click on this guy, then I click on this guy. I want them to join together. So I'll right click and you see something called bridge faces. I click on bridge faces, you notice I can see through it. That's connected those two opposite faces together. So now if I can say that to confirm, let's put a ball somewhere. Let me put a ball here. Yep. So if I look through, you can see the ball from far. So you can see through it. So that's the beauty of having the bridge. So depending on what you're currently creating, depending on what you're currently working on, depending on either the face, the edge, or the vertex you are currently selecting, you have different contextual values. Now your own might not have this loop tool. I will explain it when we are talking about the add-ons, the Blender add-ons. I'll explain that in one of the videos when I explain the Blender add-on. But for now, just ignore this one. What you have is just you will have all this one. Yeah, I'm very sure you have all this. So that's the contextual panel, contextual properties. And depending on what you're working on, if you keep changing from one to the other, from one to the other. Let's go to edge, for instance, and let's right click and see uh, edge loop, yeah, loop cuts, loop cuts. Yep. So drag up, right click, loop cut. So instead of me going back and forth using the tool on this side, this one here, loop cut. I just right click while making sure my edge is selected, loop cut. So if what I'm saying is too fast, please let me know so I can actually do a follow-up video for you, or when we meet in class, I'll explain in greater details what you are supposed to do. Alright, so then let's try to add a modifier, a subdivision modifier. Okay, we still need more edges. So right click, edge loop. So okay, I mentioned in one of the videos that the reason why you had edge loop to some of your projects is so that is to maintain the integrity of the overall face so that it won't lose its beauty. Yeah, so it won't lose its beauty. Yep. So when I move to this, now you have something like this. So that's basically what we use the what's the word, a contextual panel for. So many times if you see me while working, I right click and just do something, just can always ask what I'm doing or what I clicked on. Most of the time it will be a contextual panel because that's the only one that while you right click directly here, it will pop up. It pop up. So it's beautiful in its own right, very beautiful in its own right. So all this here is the actual um, properties panel. This properties panel. So now this one is like a floating dialog box. It's not even like it is a floating dialog box, and it also responds contextually, meaning that whatever you are currently working on, when you right click, it gives you a list of what you can do, at least a few lists of what you can do at the get go. If you need anything more complex than that, tap. Let's assume if I right using the edge and if I right click, you notice that it gives me this, but this is not all there is to edge. If I want to see all edge can do, I will come up here. This is everything edge can do. If I change this to face now and I right click, it will give me a list of what the possible things I can do with the faces. When I come here, I'll see even a much more richer list of what the faces can do. As a beautify face, feel and the like, they're all here. If I right click on this, you will not find some of those things here. So if you need all there is to do in this subsectional edit, you can find them here. Face, edit, and vertex. You also have your UV, by the way. We'll get there. We are explaining our UV. So one of the videos will mention your UV. Yeah. So that's basically that in the contextual dialog box or contextual panel. Quite interesting if you ask me. Quite interesting if you ask me. So if you have any question, please. Most of the tools here, you can still find them. We'll touch them as we go based on need. Now, just keep building, keep creating, keep modeling, keep animating, and you notice that at the end of the day, when you hit a roadblock, just DM me and I will respond to that roadblock. So that's that. See you in the next one. Thank you.